Uncompromising, brutal and grim Souls-like, with a lot of innovations in game design, and that's what we will focus on at the first place. This is such an ambiguous project, the second attempt to get to the top. Here you will die so many times, but the game is not difficult. You will suffer from crude game mechanics or poor optimization, and admire magnificent visual style. It is developed on new Unreal 5 engine, and this is fascinating in terms of new technologies and tools they used. So is it worth Game of the Year award or is completely broken? I'm confused because Metacritic and Steam reviews are mixed, but all the streamers I have watched praise this game, on their burning chairs. Money talks, huh? Anyway, our goal is to figure out what design features this project has to offer to Souls-like subgenre. So if you're ready, let's pray before we descend to the demonic world of Lords of the Fallen. Opening with the epic cinematics in which nameless hero dies from a common misclick during boss fight, followed by sequence of loading screens, and finally we're at our first character editor. The level of ugliness here can only be compared to the original Demon's Souls editor. I do realize that it is mostly a system that follows traditions, but isn't a couple of handmade good-looking presets fits the best, so the player can immerse himself in the aesthetics of this world. And for those who really want to roleplay the Shrek, you can go for mods. At last, getting into this world, we meet the truly distinctive feature. It is the transition between World of Living and the Umbral. It is a brilliant idea, so player can explore both and meet new challenges and secrets. But after you realize that these are mostly trivial puzzles like in God of War, it's just become tedious. Don't get me wrong, Umbral is a well-made alternative world, with different enemies, entourage and its own concept. For instance, the Reaper's appearance timer and this intense fight is just awesome. There are pieces of lore and hidden loot here, but game design-wise it can be used in much more scenarios, like unique locations and bosses that are not available in the World of Living. That would be amazing. And so in mid-game all the charm of Umbral gone, and you just need to solve another platforming puzzle. Also, this visual screen filter like interferes on old CRT television, eyes are bleeding. There should be an option to disable this effect, it really hurts. Now let's talk about the combat system. It is quite diverse and very intense, the variety of weapons, magic and consumables are just stunning. But it has a bit sluggish pacing with a long-lasting swing and recovery, so it is simply unforgivable and brutal, as almost each mob can kill you in a couple of hits. And that is the problem. Trying to progress further you will die constantly, literally at each step. The path between one boss encounter to another is the most difficult and frustrating part of the game. It seems like it can be tuned properly. The damage of common enemies is identical to the bosses. By any means how it can be fun, or even reasonable. Just nerf the enemies damage-wise and the gameplay will shine with the bright colors. You will provide player with a bit of strength sensation, so he can pass through without suffering over and over again. Moreover, the skill of the player is absolutely meaningless here. The amount of traps and overwhelming enemy forces striking simultaneously, it is just unfair. Add here broken hitboxes, inadequate lock-on system behavior and projectiles hitting through the surfaces, and you come up with only one result: frustration. Yes, there are a wide variety of enemies with unique movesets, models and animations, but in fact there are only two major types, the bruisers and the casters, so you just switch your tactics between these two accordingly. But at least bosses are completely different. This is the true gem of the project. Epic, intense, exciting, but rather easy encounters. With comparison to the path itself, bosses are just not so difficult, so you can feel relief here. It is actually a good contrast. The accomplishment feeling flips over to I finally made it to the boss, and you can really enjoy the fight, music and atmosphere. However, victorious you often do not want to go further, because you know what happens next. Yes, the same suffering. As for the direct comparison to the Lies of P, where the combat itself is more precise and skill-based, in Lords of the Fallen it is brutal and uncompromising. But both projects profess their own vision of the gameplay. Next, the level design. It is complex and well integrated into the world. Main paths leads us back to our hub in Skyforge, and that is amazing. But in every level section you will meet tricky enemy setups, cheap ambushes, tight passages and cliffs. There are no room to take a breath. And it is not the perfect approach to achieve the player's ideal flow state, in which he completely immersed in the gameplay. You need to mix tense and release phases, add sections where player can relax a bit. There are a few places like observation points and hub itself, but it's not enough. However, the visual style of the levels and backgrounds is spectacular. The grim tones, twilight shadow play, and dark color palette creates the gloomy atmosphere of this world. I wanna praise the light beacons as a design element that works as a landmarks at any point of your journey. Plus, they underline the integrity of this world, which is also great. In textures and game objects loading, you can find the distinctive features of the Unreal Engine. But in general, the game looks really great and utilizes the 5th generation new tools, like Lumen system, which helps to set up the scenes with a real-time dynamic lighting processing, and it looks truly impressive. But there are issues with the game performance, freezes, FPS drops, and lasting loading screens. All this requires further optimization. To sum up, it is clear why the game is so controversial. There are a few design elements to improve and systems to balance, but those players who overcomes all this and completed this journey affected by the Stockholm syndrome. They simply began to enjoy this torment and unfairness. Lords of the Fallen teeters on the edge of cruel pleasure and masochism. At the same time, there are a lot of innovative design elements, and this series certainly deserves continuation. Next time, we will be prepared for this. If you wanna share your thoughts, I welcome you to the comment section. And I wanna thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. I'll see you soon. Bye.